I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
I'm Matt once again. Welcome back to another review, and there's another request for Nick, who is very generous in his request via PayPal. And if anyone wants to request, like I said, any reviews, re-reviews, reactions, topics, like any other type of video, feel free to request it directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you so much. But Nick wanted me to review Let Me In, which is the American remake of Let the Right One In, which I have reviewed. And it's a bit weird reviewing this one because I did not hate Let the Right One In. And to be honest, I didn't hate this film either. I guess if I had to choose between the two, I would put this above it for superficial reasons. One, I don't mind the acting in the original, but it was cool to see Chloë Grace Moretz, who I think is a talented actress. She plays the little girl who's a vampire. It was cool to see Elias Koteas as a cop. I mean, being a Ninja Turtles fan, of course he was Casey Jones, so cool to see Elias Koteas in there. He's not in the film a lot, but it was cool to see him. Richard Jenkins, that's a good character actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Nice to see him in this. Also, it had some interesting directing choices. In particular, there's a moment where Richard Jenkins, who is working with the little girl vampire, he's trying to get blood for her. So he has to try to get victims for her. And he tries to get away in this car, and the whole scene is shot from behind him but inside the car, and it shows him backing up and something going wrong and tumbling, and like scenes like that that's done in one shot was a bit interesting. The reason I said it's weird to review this because a lot of it is pretty much the same movie as Let the Right One In. So story-wise, it pretty much follows the same beats, where lonely little boy, his home life is shit, meets this little girl outside who has moved in. Little girl finds out is a vampire. Little boy gets picked on by these bullies. At one point confronts the bullies, hits one on the side, splitting their ear open. The finale in the pool where the bullies are making him hold his breath underwater and the little girl helps out, helps the little boy out. The ending of the film, I mean, it is, I don't want to say carbon copy, because carbon copy would make one think of the Psycho remake. It's not shot for shot remake. where it's the same frame, it's the same shots. It's not that. But it's one of those things, if you've seen the original, you see all the same beats. There's really nothing that I can remember, at least, because I didn't mind Let the Right One In, but it's not one of those films I commit to memory where, like, maybe this was different, or maybe that... I would not know. Smarter, bigger fans of that film would do a better job than I would. But granted, part of me was like, why did you remake it? I guess they thought people they can't read subtitles. I would say I liked it a little bit better just because of the fact that, like I said, some actors I recognize and enjoy, and Matt Reeves was the director. Funny enough, the guy who's directing the new Batman film, I think he did Cloverfield. He did some of those Planet of the Apes films, the newer ones, which I'm just not into those. I did like Cloverfield. I'm interested in the new Batman film. So, like, the direction was pretty decent in this. I say it's weird to review because if I'm talking about the story, did you see my review, or have you seen the original Let the Right One In? You got the story. Chloë Grace Moretz, I thought, did a good job. The little boy, I thought, did a good job. They worked well together. Their slow, like, friendship, which I guess in a way is almost a love story, because what asks if go steady with me? Which, the thing is with that is, on one hand, it is little kids dealing with that, but to me, it's handled responsibly, unlike, say, oh, I don't know, Cuties. That if you don't go in that route, I think there's more responsible ways to do it. Why don't you review Cuties? No, I'm not reviewing that bullshit. Someone have to pay me a shitload of money to do it, because I don't need to see someone that, while I'm watching it, I'm wondering if the fucking FBI will knock on my fucking door. So, fuck Cuties. It had to be a shitload of money. So high that no one would pay it, and thus I'd never have to see it. So fuck that movie. But anyway, get into this. At least that part, they don't go, like I said, they handle it responsibly enough so it works within a story, not for some sick, weird, fucking fetish thing that some pieces of shits have. Issues I have with the film: when she attaches there's a scene where we see her attack a guy in this tunnel. Granted, a lot of it's in shadow, but you could tell it's fucking CGI. I guess they thought, well, we want her as the kid vampire to move erratically, to move unlike what a human would move. But then you could tell it's CGI enhancements because of the way it moves like animation. It moves not like a person would move. And people go, well, that's the point, because she's a vampire. But at the same, I could tell that was CGI enhanced. And so it takes the creepy factor, it takes the scare factor out of it. And I do think that's one part that the original did better, is the attack scenes of that nature. The other scene I thought the original did better was, there's a bit where this one woman's been attacked and she's in the hospital, and she overhears someone talking, but then also realizes what she has become. But at the same time, the piece of the hospital, a curtain's pulled and it lights on fire. I thought that was done more effectively, more creepier, more unsettling in the original. Like the way it was framed and the way it looked. Here it just felt more overblown and overdone, and like they try to be big with it, like big fire, big flames. It just was less, like that was one of the scenes I thought was the most effective in the original. The way it was done, where that happens and poof, on fire. I'm like, ooh, shit. Here it just seemed overdone. So again, I do think there's a couple moments that the original did it better. Like I said, when people are attacked without the stupid CG enhancements, the hospital scene, again, I thought the original was a bit more, in a weird way, subdued compared to this, which made it a bit more effective. And I don't know why, like the pool scene for some reason made a little bit more sense to me. Maybe because of how it seemed like the pool scene went a bit quicker, went a bit faster. Did it seem like in the original, granted the kid was told to hold his breath, but you had someone with a hand on there, like keep him down there. In the original, it seemed like kid was down there for quite a while. Maybe I'm remember it wrong. I'm like, well, this arm isn't there anymore. Just the way he was framed, it made it seem as if it was keeping him down. And granted, you could say, no, he was just there because he doesn't want to know what the fuck's up there, so he's willingly staying there. I don't know, but the way the arm was staying there, it made it seem to me as if the kid thought this arm was keeping him down. I don't know, I thought it went a bit better here for me. At least a bit quicker, which I just made a little bit more sense to me. But like I said, as a remake, I don't know if it's a really necessary remake. I mean, as someone would say, why don't you remake a bad film? Remake, what's that fucking film? Neon Maniacs. I think that movie sucks. In my opinion, that movie fucking sucks. Neon Maniacs. But I like the idea of these creatures where one's a samurai, and one's a ninja, and one's a fucking whatever, and you kill them by water, even though you're going, well, why the fuck are they living under a bridge near water? That's like me living near a fucking ocean of acid. So, I don't know, maybe you'd have to rework that concept, but like Neon Maniacs, I think, is a film that could use a remake and you could make it better. Even in films I didn't mind, like this film I didn't mind as flawed as it was, Super Hybrid. If someone remade that and fixed the flaws, I'd be fine with that. Like, you know, improve the effects and maybe improve the script, make it a little bit smarter. But like I said, it's not a bad movie. I'd be curious to hear what hardcore fans of the original thought of this. Because, again, the story is pretty much the same. For I understand, there's stuff in the novel that's not in either versions. I could be wrong, but isn't in the novel you get more of an inkling of the caretaker of the vampire, that there's more to their relationship, because while she's a vampire, she's a lot older than her appearance. Maybe they don't want to go on that route, which I can understand, but at the same time I'm thinking, well, if you're remaking it, why you don't do, I don't know. Even the Hills of Eyes remake, where a lot of it's similar, the third act is very different. A Sergio Leone horror western, which I love, in the Hills of Ice remake. But I said it got a lot of praise, critical praise, which again is surprising with how maybe because, yeah, it's very similar, but it's well directed. Like, there's decent looking shots. The acting's not bad. The movie wasn't boring or anything. There's no surprises because I saw the original and I went, well, I know where this is going. Okay, so this scene's coming up. Well, there you go. Okay, this scene where the cop is coming in, and it followed the original almost beat for beat, so it was predictable on that front. Which, maybe for people who've never seen the original, they'll get even more out of this. But since I had seen the original, I'm watching, I'm going, okay, it's a movie that seems a bit more cleaner in photography, bit more established actors, a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say stylistic as direction, because I did think of some of the, I thought when Richard Jenkins goes out for victims and like you see someone driving and then you see him revealed in the back seat, moments like that seemed a bit more stylistic. Well, maybe that's not the right word. A bit more interesting in this one than in the original. With how he covered himself and you can only see his eye and he's hiding in the back seat, and sometimes he's revealed, or sometimes he's just hiding there and then someone finds him, and I seemed a little bit more suspenseful here than in the original. I will say that. So, as a remake, I don't think it's offensive. I don't think it's bad. These are not films I would really see again and repeatedly. But again, I think someone who is much more of a hardcore fan of the original, their opinion would be more intriguing than mine. A lot more intriguing. But as a person that remembers the original, like I say, it hits a lot of the same beats. Acting is good. There's some stuff the original did better. I think there's some this did better. So, what say you, the viewer? With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys later. Bye-bye.